All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm sorry about the chatter there at the end of my last little paragraph. We cannot use our YouTube channel until May something, and we really don't know why. We don't know what was so bad about that episode, Oath Over Orders. But apparently somebody took exception to it. They will come after us. So you can still see it. You can still see Wooz's video if you'll just do the following. Go to caravantomidnight.com. And you'll see episodes, and just click episodes, and then you'll see the latest one. You'll see the one for tonight. And you can watch this as you listen. And but in any case, as Wooz goes through his presentation, make a note of the time stamps that he talks about. He says 5 minutes in, 5 minutes 32. Write that stuff down so you can go right to it. And you can catch up. Ideally, you should have been able to watch it earlier, but they just decided they weren't going to run that tonight. And why they decided to cancel that one episode, I simply do not know. Because that one episode, cancel the one episode, they cancel the channel. It's still there, but we can't use it until May, as I say. But Oath Over Orders, do you see what's happening here? They don't want you patriotic. And what I was saying when it got all chattery was simply this. There's never been but one way to deal with a situation and with people like this. Only one way. And you know what it is. This country is so divided. Do we hate the left? No. Are you sure? We don't hate the left enough to go out into the streets and start burning and setting up autonomous zones, all that stuff. We don't hate them that much? No. Well, does it look like they hate Trump supporters, Republicans, people who are not leftists? Does it look to you like they hate those people? That's kind of what it looks like to me. So without further ado, if I may, first time on Caravan to Midnight, Mr. Wooz, W-O-O-Z. I spell Whiskey Oscar Zulu. Here he is. This dog can hunt for sure. And we're going to talk about a scripted affair. Welcome, Wooz. How you doing?
I've got my wine here. And first time on the radio, too.
Oh, well, we're going to talk to each other like a couple of guys who've known each other for years. It's going to be fine.
I'm happy to do so.
Well,
hey, what's going on with the, I'm a little confused. First it had a different link, and now we're on another link. And are you having some censorship issues there, John?
Yeah, I'm thinking we might have a little bit of that, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Matter of fact, when I was on Coast to Coast years ago, they didn't even want me to speak the word Obama. Don't even say his name. I'm serious about this. Don't
call him Barry.
Well, no, that would be even worse. But because this would be completely truthful. But I'm serious. It's like, do not say his name. I said, well, would you please quit booking people who are going to say his name? I'm not a puppeteer. If they say it, well, I must well, don't say his name. Really? So this tells me that that's establishment stuff, and they didn't want anything derogatory, even to allude to something derogatory or negative about that glorious President number 44. But look, let's make hay while the moon's shining. You are you're a documentary filmmaker. And an editor and a producer and an actor and every other thing, and we're going to keep your name on the way down low, and you just Mr. Wooz, and that's it.
Appreciate it.
So take over the program. This is your first time on the radio. Well, you're on, kid. The red light's on and the mic's open, so let her rip.
It's the red light special here at Caravan to Midnight. First I want to say, John, I have been listening to the show for over 10 years now, and just when I got that email, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is so juicy for me.
Excellent.
So I just want to say thank you for all the years of really great content.
Well, thank you very much for saying such a thing. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I feel like we go way back, brother. So this video that some of y'all have seen, I what can I not say on here? Just to clarify, no, I can't really swear. But no F-bombs, no S-bombs, no you know what the seven forbidden words are. Just don't use any of those. I didn't really mean swear words, I just meant what. Anyway, so the video that we're going to discuss in a minute it's I noticed you gave the link out also on my BitChute channel because Mrs. Lazyface has pulled it from my YouTube channel. So you can find it on BitChute. You can go there and type in Wooz News or everything wrong with the Capitol shooting in 21 minutes or less.
Everything wrong with the Capitol shooting in 21 minutes or less? All right. Wooz, hold tough. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, all right? Wooz is with us, and this is Caravan. Stand by. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got another one for you. If you go to Brendy Wells' YouTube channel, B-R-E-N-D-I, Wells, W-E-L-L-S, the video is available there. It's also available at caravan2midnight.com and on the BitChute site that Wooz just told us about. Here's the thing. Well, what happened was the radio program kicked off, and your video at that point was cut off before your favorite part got there. So that's just it. That's full disclosure. This is high tech commando communication right here, because that video probably I'm pretty sure this program is not wanted by the powers that be at all. So we go over, we go under, we go around, or we go through, but we'll get it out there no matter what. So let's just begin. You were up there to shoot this documentary. What did you? What was the motivation behind going up to DC on January 6th to start with?
Is that for me, Wooz? Is that a question for me?
That's for Wooz, yeah.
Oh, I was not there. I was not present for this, but I did tell all my family because, some of my family thinks I'm a little crazy, but I said, hey, something's going to happen on the 6th, I guarantee you. And of course, I was on a flight that day. And when I got to my layover, my whole family was like, it's happening. You are right. I'm like, what's happening? Because I don't actually know what's going on. I've been doing Wooz News since the end of May of last year. I'd wanted to make a show like this for a while, but I just didn't because it's just so much effort. I'll tell you, man, I've sat at 700 subscribers from about May to until this video came out. And then we just broke the internet and haven't been getting much sleep lately, but that is okay. So with this video, John, I've been doing this for a while, and it's probably for the best that I didn't have a platform when Boston bombing happened, or Sandy Hook, or Aurora, Colorado, or 9/11 even, because we would have made a fun video. This was a treat to do because everybody and their mom was filming that day. I think that's what they wanted. I think they wanted everybody to be filming this and to go out on everyone's platform, kind of create the illusion of transparency, if you will.
They can't be smart enough. They can't be smart enough to have done this knowing that somebody like you would come along and figure out what they were doing up there.
Well, these are very smart people, and I will say that the official narrative weighs heavy in most people's minds. Whatever they're doing is still working, as sloppy as they've gotten over the years. I wasn't even going to cover this story. It takes me like 3 weeks just to make a video. Okay, let's just look at some of the footage. And just right away, the first thing that stuck out to me was the acting. And I have an acting background and an improv background. When you've broken down other false flags, I like to break them down just for myself. I'm also kind of a little obsessed about it. I'm a detective dog, So I've got my monocle, and I've got a really great nose. I'm not an expert when it comes to guns or protocol, what a nurse would do. Or there's lots of things I don't know. But I know bad acting. And I know if there's anything that the Boston bombing taught us, it was the scene blockers and kind of going along with the Homeland Security Evaluation Program and understanding how they're doing this one. So for me, it was the acting right away. It was Taylor and it was Fredo. Of course, I've given these people names because, we don't know who Fredo is. And even with some of the other characters that we know their real names, I just wanted to keep it simple. The video wasn't really about, hey, who's who and what's their background, because, I know all that stuff, and so do a lot of other people. I just wanted to focus on what was going on in that room and what this event has done to change and divide us as Americans. And that's why I say in the beginning of the video, I'm not affiliated with the Republicans or the Democrats. I do feel that the Republicans are getting the poop end of the stick, if you will. Both parties are under their own different kind of programming. My job here is just to wake people up out of that so I can go back to the dog park, because I live in California and everything's closed.
Oh, boy.
So, we're never, ever, ever going to get out of this scenario until the Reds and the Blues set aside their differences, realize that they're being played, and realize that they need each other. They need each other. And I don't think either side likes to hear that. And I understand why both sides dislike each other, but this stuff is just ridiculous at this point. Man, there are some very well-known people that are playing Republicans. They think they're allies. And I'll tell you, these people are not. That's for sure. And
they're not.
Whenever you have someone with notoriety and followers, because, we all follow each other now, right? If they're only saying, look how bad the Democrats are, or look how crazy the Republicans are, that just hurts all of us as a nation, and as people. And the rest of the world is affected by this as well.
Well, I don't care so much about about how they act. What I care about is what they do. What I care about is how they treat their citizens, how they tax their people, the poor level of everything that the left touches. So no, I can tell you right now, I am an anti-communist, and I will never be. It's fine, all this glad handing and smiling. Yes, I appreciate the fact that you're a communist and you believe as a fellow human being very deeply in this ideology, and I respect you for that. I don't respect them for it at all. If they're too damn stupid to recognize by this point what a murderous institution socialism, which eventually evolves into communism, as we see now in these so-called socialist countries. I don't want to be. You don't ever give anybody a chance to kill you. If they can sneak up on you and take you out, that's one thing. But you're not ever actually give them a chance. Yeah, sure, go ahead. And that's what we're doing by coddling these fools. That's where I come up on it. But anyway, you were saying. Well, so you're talking about you were concerned with the people inside that room. You're talking about the room where Ashley Babbitt got shot?
I am not concerned about the people in the room. Listen, I only care about one thing, and that's my brothers and sisters. I don't care what affiliation you're with. It doesn't matter. But I just wanted to kind of clarify. I'm seeing a lot of comments on the channel, and I love everybody to speak their piece. That's totally fine. But what I'm seeing is a trend of it's the Democrats. It's the Democrats. But when you understand how to play this game and you understand what to look for, you wouldn't even call them Democrats, because that whole world, Democrats and Republicans, that's just for us. That's for the peasants, okay? So it's not them. It's these evil cogs, and they've been doing this for hundreds of years. And now we're going to break down this video.
Okay. Well, I agree with you, because you're viewing this and expressing yourself philosophically that basically both parties are being played by somebody. Well, yeah, that's what we call that's the one we call the global cabal. Just like there's an article out there now that some of these incumbent Republicans down in the Texas House, they slacked on this energy thing and securing the grid here since 2015. So, no, they're not lily white. We got some rats in the Republican Party, and they're all being ratted out one at a time. They're ratting themselves out because that's what they are. But this is a dangerous ideology. I mean, look at these ridiculous executive orders that are being put in place now. Yeah, sure, open the borders. Yeah, sure. Let's get back into the Paris Climate Agreement. It won't do anything for anybody, but let's get back into that. It'll cost us a lot of money. That's all right. And we want $15 an hour for everybody. And then you have Bo or Roe or Ho, somebody came on and said, we don't want business. We don't want small businesses that can't pay $15 an hour minimum wage. This is what you're dealing with. I don't care what badge you wear. It's the mentality that bothers me. And you know what? We have arrived at our top of the hour break, and we must take it. So when we come back after this little wait here, give us an idea what you want to talk about, where you're going to take us.
Okay. Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's break down the video when we come back.
Okay, we're going to break down the video when we come back. Okay. All right. I like freeform radio. I do. You just can't get too free with your form or you're liable to wind up going dark. But anyway, I want to let you know that the New Eden is shipping out. You're going to hear New Eden commercials off and on for the next hour or so. But the original formula is intact, but boasts the addition of hemp seed. And let me be very clear here. You can't get high on hemp seed. You won't test like you've got hemp in you, anything of the sort. It's a nutrient, okay? We're with Wooz of Wooz News. Isn't it interesting? Everybody in the Boston bombing, anytime you hear of anybody at the Boston bombing who was injured, did you notice the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, as time went by? It was always someone who lost a leg. I say again, not a thumb, not an elbow, not a gluteus maximus, not an ankle, a leg. Always. Then, of course, there's the girl who was moaning and groaning about make the fireworks stop. Her boyfriend's going, she's going, boo-boo. She's baying like a, what's that thing that, a beagle. You know, they bay. She's doing like that because the fireworks are supposedly upsetting her. The only thing is that she's video recording herself with her own phone. I mean, really? And you can put anything on YouTube that you want unless it threatens the narrative and you're a bad person and we'll take your channel down. But they'll let up all kinds of trash. But nothing factual, nothing that rocks the boat. So let's carry on with Wooz here. Let's talk about this thing. You know, two Capitol cops killed themselves, one of whom had been with the department since 2005. So after 16 years, the second D.C. police officer dies by suicide, weeks after the Capitol riots. What would make a policeman kill himself after the Capitol riots? Well, take it away, Wooz. Tell us what's in the video, because people are watching it right now, and don't let the numbers deceive you. The number of views on YouTube. You're talking to somebody who loses 10,000 followers on Twitter in, like less than 12 hours. How do you do that? Well, you don't. They mess with your numbers just like YouTube lowered the number of thumbs down on every Biden video, claiming it was spam. So start dissecting this video, and we'll listen.
I do. Well, you just threw me a bone, and I would like to say something very quickly about these cops that supposedly killed themselves. I have a background in suicidology, and, nothing there. I mean, if this was the worst that these cops have seen, we're talking about Smith and Liebengood, which, by the way, Lieben in German means to make love. So Officer to make love good and Officer Smith saw something, and this prompted their untimely death by suicide. I don't think we know how they did it, if they did it, or if these are real people. Mind you, if you tie this into the Sicknick story, remember, they were propping up Mrs. Babbitt for a good week, and then they changed the story and threw in Officer Sicknick, which now they've told us he didn't die, being hit by the head by a fire extinguisher. So who knows what's going on? I mean, I do. Before we get into the video, I want to be very clear about something. This whole idea of Auntie, which is Antifa, but I'm not going to call it Antifa. There's this whole idea that Auntie's going to dress up like Republicans and come and destroy the show for everybody. There's not a difference between Auntie and Proud Boys and the people who were burning up all the cities during the G-Flow riots. Okay, these are paid protesters, paid crisis actors. It doesn't matter. They will dress up and they will show up. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican thing or a Democratic thing. They will change outfits and change their sign and change their talking points, if you will. There's really no such thing as Auntie. They're just people who are paid. And a lot of these people are coming from out of jail. If anybody knows that how many thousands of people they've released due to COCO, which is COVID, just releasing people from jails because of the supposed virus. So now we're really seeing these riots and because everything above, so below, right? So if you take the George Floyd mess and you flip it on its head, that is exactly what's going on with these riots. The blame was put upon the protesters who were speaking out about injustice and the cops and whatnot, but it was these paid people who come in and destroy everything. And this is in every major U.S. city. So if they can get this many people to come to every major city during the summer, why is it so hard for people to believe that these are the same people doing that? That's where I don't understand. Is people are like, well, Auntie just ruined everything for us. They made us look bad. Yeah, well, they made all the protesters over the summer look bad, too. We're just getting the flip side of that. So,
which protesters were doing it peacefully that were reported upon?
I'm talking about the George Floyd protests from, I believe it was May 25th to the 1st of June, when the cops were ordered to stand down, much like what happened on January 6th. Did we see any cops doing anything? No, we didn't.
Well, I saw a few of them pushing against the barricade. You got cops on, yeah, we got another break, but it's just a short one. Yeah, on one side of the on the building, they're letting people in. On the other side, they're pushing violently against the little barricade, little metal barricades. All right, we're going to get into this. I'm telling you, we're going to. Oh, yes. Stand by. Okay. Wooz, let's get into this deep now.
So, John, how do you want to go about doing this? This is this is all very new for me.
We'll go step by step. How long is the video?
The video
is, I
believe, 21. Excuse me. No, the video is 21 minutes.
All right, 21 minutes. Now, is it broken into sections, or is it strictly this one thing where all this action was going on?
There's a little teaser at the beginning, and then we go into the Homeland Security Evaluation Program, kind of get the audience to understand what's happening on a kind of a technical standpoint from the government.
All right, well,
but they have
embellish this. You saw people. You have video evidence that would suggest that there was a quality assurance team observing the proceedings, or what are you saying?
Yes, I am. I am saying that, and I'm in the process of making another video with everything, the whole damn day. We're putting it in there. But for me, I thought the shooting was the most glaring, and then now having gone back and looked at everything, it's actually not. So I think the next video is probably get another strike.
All right. That one's not made yet. So let's talk about this one. When people watch this, what are they going to see? Yeah. What are they going to see?
We're gonna go through the Homeland Security Evaluation Program, and then we're just gonna jump right into the scene. And there is a retraction I'd like to make right now. It's a super minor one. I think most people need to understand when there's an investigation, all investigations are ongoing. And because I draw your attention to something, it could be a nothing burger, or it could be something, So the retraction I want to make is I say Hollywood tear gas and mace. The tear gas is real. The tear gas is real. The mace is not real. Okay, it's water. I have so many clips of them using what look like water guns, and no one reacts to it at all. I would also like to explain to your audience that Trump is still speaking. When a gaggle of people show up, there maybe 1,000 of them, if you will. That's just a rough estimate. Now, we don't see this in this video, but everybody has their mission. Most of the people are going to stay outside. I know exactly what times these fun and games are happening. So if you have fun and games on the east side, not much is going on the other side. But they kind of switch up. There is a schedule to all of this, to the Capitol riots on the 6th, and it's a very tight schedule that they're running with. But we are going to just look at the shooting that happened outside the speaker's lobby. These people know to be in this room at this specific time.
And you can tell. Wait a second. And you can tell this how?
I'll give you a couple of examples. One, the first video that Jaden, I call him Jaden, I know that's not his name, he released a video on YouTube, and it included, I believe it was 39 minutes, and none of it was cut. And it's very interesting that people are saying that he's like agitating or he's responsible for all of this. Now, this guy's a part of it. Everybody in that room should hold the same blame. If you're going to blame John Sullivan, you're going to blame everybody else in that room. I promise you. It's very interesting that Taylor Hanson, the blonde boy in the video that's shooting from the floor and the corner, he goes on his Twitter talking trash about John Sullivan. But yet everybody fails to see that they're in the same corner together, shooting the same footage And they both go off the next morning. They go on CNN and they go on Fox News. And they tell their side of the story. They're the ones who filmed it. They're the ones who became the celebrities, if you will, out of this whole mess. Don't put your attention on Jaden. It's because you're going to lose.
Let's go past it.
Let's go past it. So about 2:35, everybody starts heading to this specific area. In the world of script building, you want to have your inciting incidents. Everybody decides to go to the Capitol. Well, everybody's saying that Trump incited them to go there, which is kind of true, but not, because you had at least 1,000 people who are already showing up when Trump is still speaking. And these people know to be there, and they all know what to do. Around 2:40, they're already inside the building. They're going to make their way to this very specific room that was already set up when these people arrived. The barricade is already set up. All of our key people are in there. And then when we finally come in with Jaden, John Sullivan, the room is now filled, and every single person in there, in my opinion, whether they're just a scene blocker or they're there to just shout, they are all being paid. There's no one in that room that is there organically. And the video starts with Medic. We follow Medic into the room. Now, I thought about making a retraction about this because Medic only has one glove on, and then we see that Red only has one glove on as well. Well, people have pointed out to me, well, it would make sense they would only have one glove on to use their phone. Yes, absolutely. But later on in the video, we're going to see Medic touch her in these areas with that hand. So I just thought it was very convenient that the Medic is not wearing a glove, but it could be a nothing burger. We're kind of pointing out different things from the Homeland Security Evaluation Program and marrying that with other drills that they've had in the past. I don't know. How do you want to do this? Do you want to just... I've never done something like this before. I can just go through the video and break it down with people if you want.
Yeah. I think that's great because they're going to watch it later and they're making notes now where the timestamps are going to go. So,
okay, so when you say, for future reference, when I say a time code, I'm just going to say the actual time code of the video and not the time code that I'm using for Jaden's footage. And when you piece them all together, just laser focus on each individual in the room and what they're doing. This took like 2 weeks to do. And then we run down each character. So I'm just skipping through the videos. Mind you, how many professional photographers are in that room? And one of them is Adam Gray. A lot of his photos were the photos that we saw from all of this. Oh. And I have tracked that boy through the whole damn day. The people who are protesting, they don't know. But a lot of them that were there have told me, man, it didn't seem right. Something was really strange about this. And there's a lot of strangeness with some of these cops. And I'm convinced that a lot of these cops are not cops. But a lot of people who have seen this, like other LEOs and a lot of other trauma surgeons and medics, there's a lot of glaring inconsistencies and protocols that were not enacted during this. So our room is filled with photographers and other, someone that you know very well. We'll just call him Bullhorn Man. He's very well known, but he has about 3 other journalists, if you will, in that room as well.
3 other journalists.
Or videographer, whatever you want to call them. They're working alongside with Bullhorn Man. I just find that very interesting.
It is interesting, and you know, what about the blonde-headed SWAT guy at the far back of the room that keeps looking, left to right?
Are we talking about Taylor Hanson?
No, maybe so. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah, he was on Bullhorn's show the next morning.
Do you know the muzzle brake on his rifle, which is I presume it's supposed to be an M16 or M4. It's basically the same thing, different designation. That doesn't look like any flash hider I have ever seen on any legitimate weapon. Now, they make a lot of variations out there.
Are you talking about SWAT 1 or are you talking about the shooter?
No, the SWAT guy. All right, stand by. We got a break. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. Wooz of Wooz News is on the bridge and in your ears. Okay, so Wooz, There's the
What's
woman
up?
on the floor. She's lying there on the
There
floor.
she is. Yes, she is.
And what do you see in there as people attend to her?
I see people buying time to allow the photographers to come in and get their angle. It's pretty obvious from the video that no one actually tries to save her. They just touch her here and there. It seems to me, now this is speculation, it seems to me that there is some type of a squib, either tied around her neck or a tube tied around her neck or squibs in the sides of her book bag, because that's where they all keep touching. They keep touching her book bag. They keep touching the sides of her neck. I believe that the blood, which is the squib, I believe it malfunctions. And I believe that they keep trying to get her to bleed more.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to be working because, we have, 2 tablespoons of blood there from a jugular wound, says the mainstream media. Remember, she was 16 years old when this first came out, and then she became 35.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. That's interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get hit in the jugular vein, it's going to spray blood around with every heartbeat.
Exactly. We don't see any real life happening, which is what made this so obvious. And I would say 99% of people who have commented on the video see what I see. It's that other 1%. How dare you for making this video? That's always been the case. Whenever someone makes a video like this, you're always going to have someone that's, how dare you? So I do believe that they are buying time. They let all sorts of people touch her, like Data. Data comes in and he's fumbling through his bag. They're looking for a flashlight. That's the only thing that they actually ask for during this whole scene. And she's just lying there this whole time. And each time a new person comes in, SWAT 1 and SWAT 2 they stay stationary. And then you have Sam, Secret Agent Man, and you have Ninja, who's hiding behind him. I'd like to point out that for about a week, I never noticed Ninja hiding behind Sam. And then one day I did. And so you have people like Data come in, and you have Parrot Blocker come in. I call him Parrot Blocker because of the jacket, the black jacket that he's wearing. There's some duct tape on the back, and with a Sharpie marker, he has written Parrot Media, which I find it interesting that Taylor Hanson, who is now working for the Gateway Pundit since all of this happened, comes out with an article saying, Ashley Babbitt's legal team needs your help in identifying this man. And it's like, why? Why do you guys need to know who this guy is? It just seemed like a distraction. They also wanted to know who Blue and Red were. Blue's not even in the scene. When she goes up, Blue hightails it out of there. The only person really keeping this Ashley story alive is Taylor Hanson himself. Someone brought it to my attention that there was a memorial service for her. But then there's a problem with the memorial service. Other than the fact that they're all just at the beach with some pictures of her, guess who wrote the article on Gateway Pundit about her memorial service? Taylor Hanson. So
no kidding.
I don't know if they've hired him, but his first article was on the 26th of January. The other 2 articles were the same. They were about, who is Parrot Blocker? We need to find him. And then they came out and said, we found him. And then his 4th article for the Gateway Pundit was about this memorial gathering, which he flew there, which is very interesting that he would fly from either Washington or Utah to fly to San Diego to take pictures with the girlfriend and the husband.
Who is Taylor Hanson?
Taylor Hanson's in the room filming the whole thing, and the video that he shot of her.
But I mean, who is he?
He actually showed up out of nowhere last year, at the exact same time as John Sullivan. They both show up out of nowhere. They're both on opposing teams. They're both from Utah. We can go into that more later if you want.
Wow. So these are recent stars, so to speak. Interesting. Nothing is, but what is not. Golly, this time has gone by pretty quick. I'm looking at this thing from Yahoo News, and it says, as we speak with Wooz of Wooz News, in a 30-second video post on Twitter, a gunshot rings out as Trump supporters swarm inside the Capitol building. Trump supporters, right? The camera pans over to a woman with a Trump flag wrapped around her shoulder, slumping to the ground. Ooh, wow. Good stage management. A young woman was just shot in the neck right besides me in the Capitol building, tweeted an account with the display name Taylor Hanson, who posted the video. In a follow-up tweet, another video, also containing graphic violence and profanity, shows the woman with blood on her face and neck. Help, you guys, come on, someone screams in the background. But has anybody determined who this person actually is? Taylor Hanson?
I mean, I have, but I don't know how much I want to talk about Taylor Hanson. I'm still working up some stuff.
Okay,
so,
all right.
What was your question, though? Was it something specific about him?
Well, yeah, I mean, why does this person feature? Is it just because he launched a tweet, if it is a he?
So Taylor Hanson shows up out of nowhere with this whole baby lives matter thing. He goes to a lot of these auntie rallies where in one case he was arrested, which is interesting to note that he was arrested with all of the other auntie clan members, if you will. Remember, at the top of the hour, we were saying that there's no difference between Antifa and Proud Boys. They're all paid by the same people. I wouldn't even call them Antifa or Proud Boys. They're just paid actors. They really are.
So he shot the video, but
I think it got 4 million views on Twitter.
Okay.
And then he goes on Lauren Ingram's show and immediately there's, I think I'm saying that right, Laura Ingram. I don't really watch the news.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. You got it.
So at the same time that he's going on Fox News, you have your boy John Sullivan going on Anderson Cooper to deliver basically kind of the same story, that she was executed and that she was wrapped in a Trump flag and she died for her country. People, we have to base this in reality. If anybody tries to get through the Capitol doors, they're going to be shot. We all know that. But none of what happened on the 6th is based in reality. Not the suicides of the cops, not this Ashley character, not Taylor or John or the cops that were there or the other actors that are there. So when you piece everything together, it's like you couldn't have the new impeachment trial without this. But you couldn't have this unless you got it into people's minds that there was voter fraud. Now, I don't believe there was voter fraud because I don't believe that these people are selected by us. I believe that they are selected by them, if that makes any sense. And
that's a common perception and a common comment, although I know Sidney Powell, and I can assure you she wouldn't go to this kind of trouble over some sort of a fraud. The deal with General Flynn wasn't a fraud. So what I'm saying is there was voter fraud. Bannon's down there. They ran I don't know how many simulations, and Biden didn't win one of them. So I'm just saying, yeah, there was voter fraud. But, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. It's okay. But
sure.
Yeah, there was.
So, but when we start talking about and this was in the summer, and they're talking about mail-in ballots and all that stuff, they're already talking about voter fraud. And so they're kind of leaving these breadcrumbs to what will become of this. And if we look at every 4 years, what do we see every 4 years? We see a virus and we see voter fraud. There's no one I trust, by the way. I do not trust anybody in the government, if you will. I think maybe at one time I used to like Ron Paul, but at this point, everybody just, I don't have any dirt on Ron Paul, but I'm just saying, I just don't trust anyone.
Okay.
So going back to all of this is a huge production. It just looked like a bunch of background actors to me, and the way they're speaking, not just outside the speaker's lobby, but outside of the Capitol. And you can immediately tell who is there to act and who is there organically. The people who are there they're just constantly chanting the same tunes and talking points the entire time. They rarely break character. There are a few moments when we can hear some realness with John Sullivan and his lady friend Jade Sacker. She works for BuzzFeed. And it's interesting to note that John was supposedly arrested. I mean, you can see his mugshot photo. But why wasn't Jade Sacker arrested? She was there with him the whole time, and she works for BuzzFeed. And now you have Taylor Hanson working for the Gateway Pundit. So it's like, is everybody in this room a photographer and a journalist? Because that's what it seems like it is.
Wooz, let me ask something.
Yes,
Go on, finish that thought.
You would not believe how many people from the press were there, from Daily News to Reuters to you name it. They were there. And C-SPAN sets up a camera on the little stage when the room before the rotunda that they go in. I'm getting off track here, but
I got two quick questions for you.
Going on. Yes, sir. Go for it.
So there was only all these photographers all over the place. All these SLRs, they shoot video now, unless you're using something from the Stone Age. But this is the guy who got the exclusive footage of this. Nobody else captured any dramatic video. No,
Taylor Hanson's not the only person. John Sullivan also recorded the same footage. His did not get hardly any views. It's also interesting to know, I just found this yesterday, and this is going to be, I didn't want to say anything, but there's an Uber commercial from, I think it's 2015, and John Sullivan, the lead character, I had no idea he was a professional Olympic ice skater. And, it's like, okay, your dad's this 3-star general in D.C., and his brother, John Sullivan's brother, is on the other side, on the Republican side, where John Sullivan is kind of deemed as this leftist Antifa BLM supporter who agitated everybody. It's so not true. Yes, in his video, he's saying, let's go, break it down. Everybody else is doing the same thing. There's nothing that he says vocally that no one else is saying. I promise you that. But his brother is, it's like the Cain and Abel story. You have this 3-star general out of Utah. Well, he's in D.C. now, but both of his adopted sons are in all of this mess, but they're on opposing teams, which is very interesting. So you have Taylor Hanson, who is kind of on the right side, right? And then you have John Sullivan, who's on the left. It's something that just caught my mind is you may not see it so much in the video that I made, but I can assure you that Taylor Hanson is kind of climbing around parrot blockers. I swear, if anybody touched parrot blocker more in that scene, it was Taylor Hanson. But then you have parrot blocker. You have parrot blocker who is touching her, Ashley, and pulling stuff from her hair. I'm like, what is going on? Why would SWAT LEOs, why would they ever allow any of this to happen? Why wouldn't they clear the room and perform these protocols, which now I know because people have left me these comments on YouTube and BitChute, which hopefully at some point we can go over.
I think we should.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, no, I'm just thinking that we should probably dissect this further on a.
We can dissect the video, but I don't know how much justice it does to your viewers if they just watch me reiterating what I'm saying. You know, there are some things that I left out because either I wasn't sure or I just didn't want to make a really long video. I want to see if other people can see other things that I have not mentioned. And sure enough, some people in the comment section, hey, you forgot to mention. No, girl, I didn't forget it. But thank you for pointing that out to people.
Let me ask you a quick one here. One of my questions would be, but not necessarily to you, Wooz, is how hard is it to get a stretcher up there? But the immediate question is, did they ever cover her face? I mean, from the time she was shot until the time she supposedly expired, how much time went by? Did she die immediately? Did they ever cover her face, or did they just leave her lying out there with all these mugs milling around her?
Okay, the time that's elapsed, I want to say it's about 6 minutes. But when they go down the stairs outside the Capitol, or excuse me, outside the Speaker's lobby, there's a set of stairs, and you can see on a map where they are, and you'll see that there's a set of doors that they can just exit out. By the time that she is put on a stretcher, I don't know how much. Actually, that's not true. I can probably, you know what? I'm going to go back to my other footage, and I can tell you how much time has elapsed, if you want me to.
I do want you to, and I want you to come back on the program because we're out of show for tonight. But, Wooz, thanks for coming on.
Huh? Oh, my God, it's over.
Yeah, I can't believe it either.
Okay.
We're just getting rolling
we
here.
Didn't get anywhere. I feel like we didn't get anywhere.
Well, look, it's a big...
How much time do I have right now?
You have 20 seconds. Use them.
Okay. If you are an LEO or if you're a nurse or a medic or whatever, watch this video. Please either leave a comment or a reaction video and let us know what you would do and what you see. What do you see wrong in the video?
Excellent.
That's what we need. We need to keep this thing alive.
All right. Very good. Wooz, thank you very much for coming on the program. Our people will call your people.
Thank you so much.
We'll tear this down some more. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate it very much,
brother. Thank you
so
much.
God bless you.
God bless, brother.
Folks, that wraps it up for tonight. Talk to you same time, same stations tomorrow.